What's up, guys?
Hey, you've been around Doug Nussmeier at a few places, known him for a long time. What specifically has he, I guess, had a positive effect on Jalen with over this past 6 months?
Yeah, I've been fortunate to be around Doug for a long time now, going back to Dallas and LA and now here. And so, I've just worked with him in the quarterback room for a long time. I think what makes Nuss obviously is obviously his experience. He's been a long-time coordinator in college football at a lot of big-time schools and had a ton of experience there. I think he does an excellent job with just the details and fundamentals of the position and just hammering that in each and every day, each and every week, tying the QB's footwork to the past concepts and making sure we're all have the right timing and the anticipation and all that sort of stuff. And he does an excellent job preparing those guys.
What was clicking for you guys in the passing game? I mean, you started going with it early and then, you just kind of kept going. What was kind of working for you guys? What did you see?
Just thought our guys did a really good job of just playing with great fundamentals. I thought our receivers did a great job with route discipline, coming off the ball. Jalen did an excellent job of working through his progressions, getting the ball out of his hands. Protection was excellent. I thought our guys did a really good job early in that game, finding that rhythm and playing at a high level.
Zone read being a big part of what you guys do. How are you managing with Jalen's finger? He said it was, influencing his play on Sunday and the other aspects of, offense for him.
Yeah, obviously Jalen's ability to run is obviously a crucial aspect for him. And so, there's still an element of it. Obviously he showed that on Sunday that he still played at a really high level with it. Obviously, there's circumstances, situations we got to be aware of as we go through this. But each and every week, there's different things that come up. Maybe his hand or whatever was this past week. But I thought he did an excellent job. He handled it well. He was under center for sneaks, and so it didn't limit us too much.
On the empty sets, why were they effective, and what do you like about them?
Empty obviously does a really good job of defining the defense. Certainly there's pros and cons to every formation. There's not as high of a likelihood of you running the football. Jalen does have the ability to run it, which helps us in the empty package. But I thought our guys just did a really good job spacing them out. Obviously, we kind of made the decision as the week went on. Just felt like it was a good thing for them, a particular opponent, based off how they were playing empty. And so it worked out well.
Was that about rhythm as well, using a little bit more empty? Jalen talked about getting in that kind of rhythm after the game. You just mentioned it. Is that a part of that set, using that a little bit more?
Certainly empty is, you get one more guy immediately out on a pass concept, so you're in 5 wide. And so obviously there's an element of the picture being a little bit more defined. And again, there's pros and cons to it. Some teams may stress you in empty and you don't want to use it as much. We felt like there were some positives going into that game, and obviously our guys did an excellent job.
How much of a luxury is it, especially with those empty sets, to have Lane Johnson there being able to kind of handle one-on-one matchups and protection?
Yeah, again, going back to, the protection aspect's the key aspect of this thing. The way we started, Lane and Jordan on the edges and the interior guys. I thought our protection was phenomenal. We had a couple goofy, in that two-minute drill stretch right before half. We kind of had a little lull there, but outside of that, those guys did a big-time job there.
In terms of the passing game, Devontae Smith said afterward that it was just kind of a matter of time. Took a game where y'all needed to do that. And Jalen talked about watering, certain parts of the grass. In between, games where you're more bent toward the run and the pass game's not there, how do you work that out in between the time to make sure certain parts of your offense don't atrophy?
Yeah, I think that's a great question because each and every week takes its own path. And, fortunate for us, we've found a formula that's been fairly successful for a number of games over the course of the time. And obviously we're running the football, kind of playing in the play action world and playing third downs when we had to. And so, naturally we know every game's going to take a different course, and felt like this game, from the start, the passing game caught rhythm. They did an excellent job from a run game standpoint of, having that extra guy in the box. They're obviously really stout. They got premier players all over that front, and so it was going to be a challenge for us up front. And I thought our guys did an excellent job of anticipating that, being prepared, and just executing at a really high level. And we know every game throughout this season there's different courses you got to take and different paths. And empty may be a big emphasis one week, and maybe the next week there's more challenges than are worth it. But each week we got to take a different path, and we got to lean into also what we do really well. And so there's a fun balancing act between those two.
So that means sometimes in the middle of a week of practice where you may not be using a certain part of your passing game that you want to practice it?
Yeah, certainly. Every week we follow a similar formula as far as, how we prepare, how we, the reps we have associated with the run game and the pass game. It's all very, very similar, and we understand that games sometimes lean one way or the other based off circumstances, but we want to prepare the right way each and every week.
Both Devontae and AJ talked about, like, sometimes you have to have uncomfortable conversations to get things corrected. From your perspective, what are those conversations like, and what is this team, and how do they deal with it?
We just got a bunch of really competitive guys who play at a really high level, and when we want to improve and we want to get things right, I think it's a group that is willing to have conversations about it, not isolate ourselves. And so it's a really fun group. It's a really awesome group. I thought we had a really fun week this past week. Just working together, having as many conversations as we can, getting everyone connected, and so it was a really, really good one, really successful.
When you're back, boil down the benefit as a play caller and offensive designer of having AJ Brown, as part of the group.
AJ is one of the premier receivers in this league. He's one of the top ones. Obviously, we all know that, and his ability to win one-on-ones is rare. Obviously, he does a phenomenal job. I think he has a great feel for the defense and how they're attacking him and how he can counteract that. And so that's what I enjoy. I enjoy those conversations through the week and on game day with him and Smitty and Jalen and all these guys as we all team up on this thing. And so, obviously, he had an excellent game. I thought Smitty had an excellent game. Those guys did a really, really good job.
When you're backed up
Very
inside
highly
your own,
of, Kenny
inside your
Gainwell.
own 10 or inside your own 5, how important is it to stay aggressive in those situations?
Backed up's a situation we spend a lot of time on because it's very challenging. You got to put yourself in a situation first and foremost to protect the special teams aspect of it, because when you're backed up, it compromises the punt unit. And again, it's a big opportunity if you get that first down, and then you can get yourself rolling. I think we spend a lot of time going through those in situational football. Nick does an excellent job of kind of throwing those situations out on us on Wednesdays and Thursdays and having us prepare. And so I thought our guys did an excellent job. At the first down, we were a little bit aggressive. The second down, we got the run to put ourselves at least in a manageable third down. And then to hit the slant to AJ was a big-time play, and obviously it progressed into a really long drive.
Nick spoke very highly of Kenny Gainwell. Obviously doesn't get a ton of opportunities, usually 2 big third down conversions, but what has he meant to your group as a whole?
Yeah, Kenny's the best. Just to have a guy behind Saquon like Kenny who's played very valuable roles in this league for a number of years now. A guy who, in a lot of other circumstances, probably getting a lot more touches, a lot more opportunities. The way he handles himself and the way he prepares is second to none. And the way him and Saquon kind of team up on this thing and rally together, and Will's in that equation as well. I think it's a really special group. There's no egos. They're all in it for each other. I think Kenny has done an excellent job when he's called upon and given that opportunity, he takes advantage of it. And obviously his ability to, play in space, again, he made some big-time plays.
When you started that 21-play drive, did you think it was possible to take the whole thing off the clock?
We're not projecting out that far. Obviously, you kind of take it circumstance by circumstance. It started with a backed-up scenario, got a few first downs, played some third-down football, and as we kind of approached that midfield line, that's where 4-minute football kind of started to present itself. And obviously, we had to make those adjustments. And now we're playing the clock and all those situations. And so I thought it was a really good job by our guys of understanding there was a lot of circumstances that kind of played out through that whole drive. A lot of situational football that kind of happens on the fly, and to have it all in one 21-play drive is very rare.
So as a play caller, is it all really segmented in terms of situations on a drive that long?
There's a lot of communication that has to go on just as far as, you're in a situation where you're looking at it from a backed up perspective. Obviously now we get going. We played some third downs where obviously you're on that script. And then obviously as we progressed and kind of got to that midfield range, the clock, approaching 4 minutes. Now we're in the 4-minute football. Now we're really trying to play that situation. I thought our guys did an excellent job. Obviously, we're trying to run the football. We're trying to use the clock, but we're still throwing it. We had some critical third down conversions in there, some big-time catches. To have a second and really long, and AJ makes a completion, him and Jalen, that's big time. So big-time football out there for those guys.
With Saquon, obviously the yards weren't easy to come by on Sunday, but what kind of impressed you with the way he ran the ball despite, only having, for him, 65 yards?
Yeah, Saquon just does an excellent job of, he's right there each and every play. He's, obviously sometimes the production isn't what you want, but I think he hangs in there. He does it the right way. He understands there's a process associated with this, and more often than not, we've been able to eventually get those explosive plays. And so, he's still contributing in the protection game and the pass game. He does a number of good things, and obviously Kenny hopping in there for a few more snaps probably than normal is a huge opportunity for him as well.
So now having taken off that much time on a drive. Can you project that far in future game plans?
Just with the long drive. Obviously, it's a huge benefit if we can, have the ball for the last 10 minutes of the game. But obviously, all those situations come up, and you got to adjust on the fly. I think that's the biggest thing is, you project things out, and then you have to make adjustments as we go.
As a play caller, what makes you prefer the sideline to the booth?
Just the interaction and the communication. I think that's the biggest thing is you're able to interact with the players, with the coaches, have a great feel for the game. Obviously, the viewpoint from a box is second to none, but we have great people up there who communicate really, really well.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks, guys.